Hey everyone, I am your astrologer Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here is your daily forecast for the day of Tuesday, May 22nd, 2018. Now what we've got going on today is the moon hanging out right here in Virgo. Oh, I just got all kinds of weird things going on while I'm trying to film this today. But we've got the moon here in Virgo, and it's a Virgo moon, so I'm like, everything has to be perfect. Alright, but we've got the moon hanging out in Virgo today. Sorry, it's got my light keeps changing on me here, some weird shapes. Anyways, what we've got going on today is the moon in Virgo. And when the moon's in Virgo, it brings our attention to getting things done, to doing work, to taking care of business. Sometimes the work we don't want to take care of. Sometimes Virgo takes care of all that stuff, the work no one else wants to do. So that comes in. Virgo also brings your attention to your job, your daily routines. Also, Virgo, being ruled by Mercury, brings your attention to thinking, processing things over in your mind, strategizing here about your life, about what you need to do to get to where you want to go, can come in, as well as organizing. Organizing your thoughts and organizing your life comes in here with this Virgo moon. Now, late yesterday into today, this Virgo moon was in a square with the sun, making it a first quarter moon, and a trine with Uranus. Again, what's with the weird shapes? And a trine with Uranus. And what that could have brought up at the very end of yesterday is perhaps something unexpected, maybe, that spurred us into action, to do things, to get things done, maybe to take care of some things that we have been putting off. Also with Virgo, to start to come up with a plan, to strategize about the future. So I think that's what could have come in the very end of yesterday, especially with the first quarter moon. First quarter moons usually do indicate action, initiation, starting to put things into motion. All right, so that's what I think was coming in, especially after we had a void moon for most of the day, just kind of hanging out. I like to think that this first quarter moon at night in the trine to Uranus was helping you to start to take steps forward, to do some things, to use more of your talents and to use more of your resources in a practical way to line up to where it is you ultimately want to go. All right, so that's what's going on there. Then at 2 a.m. Mountain Time today, the moon in Virgo makes a sextile over here to Venus after it comes off the first quarter moon, although it's still there because all these planets are kind of close to each other. And what that could bring at 2 a.m. is an opportunity for you to hopefully start to feel better, feel more comfortable. If you want to think of Venus ruling kind of like your value systems can come in. There can also be an opportunity at 2 a.m. if you're still awake, at least in my side of the world, can give you a chance to maybe have positive conversations with relationships, to process perhaps what is going on in your mind, Virgo, with the other people in your life in a way that feels more comfortable, okay? So I think that's what's starting to come in there. Maybe also a chance for you to organize your finances, since Venus also rules money, to feel much better about money as well. And I think what's happening here with Virgo is the more that we're working things over in our minds, the more that we're maybe taking care of some of the business, the things that we need to do, even if we don't want to do it, is really helping us to finally start to feel like, okay, this is what I need to feel more comfortable, to take care of my emotional needs, to build more of that, the comfort and perhaps that we haven't had. So I actually like what's going on here. I think I actually like what's going on for most of the day today too with this Virgo moon. I think really helping us to hopefully get a handle on some things in our life, to start to ground ourselves more and come up with a plan for what's going on next, and how to feel right, much more stable with everything that's gone on. Okay, so that's at 2 a.m. Then a few hours later at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, the moon moves further through Virgo and it makes a trine over to Saturn here in Capricorn. And I think again what that could bring is a commitment to do things, to make things happen, to get work done, to think about your life in the right ways so that you can put your life in the spot you want it to be in. I like this trine. I don't know, for some reason I'm liking this too with Saturn as well, because they're both earth signs. So I think today, especially the morning, could give you a good opportunity to start to get things done, to feel more stable with your life, to feel like you're taking care of business, like you're putting your life in the right direction, or at least getting the gears going in your mind in a very positive way to make big moves, if not now, then later, to put your life in a better spot. Okay. Yeah, and I think we're just kind of getting our bearings, trying to get everything going once again to feel much better about it all. All right. And that's pretty much going to stick with us for most of the day, because the next aspect the moon makes isn't going to be till tomorrow, actually at 1 a.m. Mountain Time. So that gives us like another void moon for most of the day. So I would recommend, if you have anything that it is that you need to do, maybe get it done a little bit earlier today so that if you want to hang out towards the end of the day, or that if it's harder, you can just chill out with the moon, not doing too much. But I do think the beginning of the day is going to be very positive, to start to feel like you're taking care of business, you're putting your life in the right direction, you're getting more insights on what you need, especially with relationships and with money, and you're starting to feel more comfortable. All right, then what we get tomorrow, and it's going to come in very early tomorrow, so I'm going to talk about it now at 1 a.m. Mountain Time. And what's going to happen then is that the moon's going to make like a pretty mystic rectangle. And what it's going to do is it's going to come to 16 degrees, and it's going to oppose Neptune, and then it's going to trine Mercury, and it's going to sextile Jupiter. They're all like 15, 16 degrees. Mercury will actually be at 16 degrees by the time this happens. And of course, Mercury and Neptune are in a sextile, Neptune and Jupiter in a trine. So all these planets at 16 degrees are all connected, which is making it a mystic rectangle by trines, sextiles, and oppositions. And what that can bring in, perhaps at bedtime for me, could be perhaps some confusion that could come in with Neptune. Maybe feeling a little bit confused, especially with the moon in Virgo. We're trying to spend a lot of our time working, getting things done, making things happen, taking care of business. And there perhaps could come something around 1 a.m. where we're kind of just like, you know what, I'm done working. I'm done taking care of business. I need some time to process now all of these things that I've done, all of these things I've tried to organize in my mind. And that could perhaps start to come in at 1 a.m. tonight into tomorrow, or 1 a.m. tomorrow morning, is maybe we start to realize, okay, well, we've done a lot, or we're putting more of a plan in place, but needing to check in with yourself to figure that out, okay? That starts to come in. It could be a little bit difficult with the opposition, but the trines and the sextiles are going to help. So even if there is some confusion or some fatigue of what it is that you're doing that comes in late at night, I think the moon in a trine to Mercury is going to help you to get more insights on what's going on in your life, think more clearly about what's happening so that you can break through the confusion, get more of the insights, and understand better what you're experiencing, especially with the moon in a sextile to Jupiter at the same time. To me, Jupiter definitely brings understanding as well. I think that can also help too, for you to start to dig up some deep feelings that you may be experiencing, to understand why you're experiencing the things you're experiencing, to make sense of them, and to hopefully find more of that inner peace that we've been looking for recently. Yeah, and to kind of put a plan and get everything together. I kind of like it. It's like a mutable thing. I mean, they're like, it's not like entirely mutable, because obviously like Jupiter and Mercury are in fixed signs, but you've got like like the moon in a mutable sign, and then like Jupiter, Neptune, and Mercury are all the rulers of mutable signs. So I don't know, I think it's just like a chance towards like the end of the day today and into tomorrow to hopefully start to understand better what's going on in your life, how you feel about it, how to feel much better, how to maybe calm some of your nerves, break through some of the confusion, to at least do some things that you need to do and find more clarity. I don't know if like all the answers that you're looking for are going to be here, especially with like a lot of things, other things going on with like Mars in its shadow period, a bunch of planets retrograde, but I do think that there is some sense of like peace, of calm that can definitely come in at the nighttime, where you get more understanding, at least mentally perhaps, of what, and practically of like what needs to happen next, of where your life is going, and of what you kind of need to do to feel better with everything that has occurred, okay? So that's what I see there. Kind of an interesting alignment that's happening, and I'm sure I'll have more to say about it tomorrow as well in tomorrow's video. But I do like it. I mean, I do feel like we're at a point in the year where like we've been trying to make so much happen since the beginning of the year and change our life totally. I mean, especially after Saturn and Sagittarius kind of, you know, turned things upside down a little bit. And I think now is the time that we're trying to figure out, okay, now that everything has happened since the beginning of the year, now that so much has changed, how can we process it, make sense of it, understand it, be okay with it, and pace ourselves so that we can ultimately get where we want to go. And I don't know, I just like this. I'm liking this Virgo moon. I typically like Virgo planets. I don't know why they square everything in my chart, but I typically like Virgo planets, and I don't know, I've been liking this Virgo moon. And some of the aspects it's making here, especially now that we've got a lot in some earth signs, with Uranus just moving into an earth sign, Saturn moving in. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but we've got that there. Now some stuff going on in the background. Sun just moved into Gemini in a trine with Mars, and what that can bring, the Sun in a trine with Mars, lots of action, wanting to do lots of things. Sometimes it can bring aggression, you know, whenever planets touch Mars, people can get a little assertive, get a little angry sometimes. That can come in, but I do like trines. So I normally don't interpret trines super negatively. So I'd like to think what this could bring perhaps is some action, a willingness to do things, and air signs, maybe not doing things in a practical sense, but a willingness to think things over in your mind, to think about your future, to consider your options, to communicate with others about what's going on with you and about what you ultimately want your life to be like. That could come in. So I think if you are doing things, you could be just doing things in general, especially with this very practical Virgo moon, wanting to get things done in a practical sense. But I like to think as well, there's a lot of mental activity going on behind the scenes to figure things out as well. That's positive. Right? I think working things over in your mind, considering other possibilities, dreaming about your future as well can definitely help here with the moon, with Mars and the Sun making a sextile to Chiron, to feel much better about your life, to get more insights on who you are, and to understand what you need to do next and how it is that you need to do it as you're processing things in your mind. There's also Mars too, while it's in this alignment, making a square to Uranus, so maybe some impatience as well, some frustration, could be some anxiety that could come in with the Mars and the square with the Uranus. But I think allowing your mind to wander, you to consider other possibilities, can then help you to resolve the square a little bit, and to put things in place in a more practical way once maybe you've got the mental insights to accompany some of your practical needs, problems, concerns, that kind of thing. All right, so we've got that. The other thing, Mercury is coming in an opposition with Jupiter today as well. So there could be, again, lots of communicating. I'm seeing that go on, of course, with the Sun in Gemini, this Mercury ruled moon. Mercury here opposite Jupiter, could be lots of conversations here about you, your talents, and Taurus, what you're good at, how you can build more stability in your life. Maybe you're trying to figure out with the opposition to Jupiter, what do you really want? What do I really want my life to be like? What do I really want my talents to be good at? and I think there could be balancing some of that as well. Also with Taurus and Scorpio, you'll get a lot of money conversations that could come in. So maybe conversations about how you make money, how you spend money could also be a thing, and trying to get the balance just right on that as well. Okay. So I see that there. The other thing I want to mention too, this is a little far off, but Venus coming into an opposition with Saturn too. So there could be, even though I think we're thinking about a lot of things, especially trying to mull things over in our mind so that we can make better plans in reality, I think definitely towards the end of the week when Venus opposes Saturn, we're going to have to take an honest stock of our resources and figure out what we can and cannot do. The opposition with Saturn towards the end of the week can bring restriction in relationships, in money, in our resources. And I think right now we're just trying to figure out, what do we ultimately want to achieve? What really resonates with us? Maybe what's the possible outcome scenarios? What's the best case scenario? Trying to add all the pieces up together that way, so that the more we move on towards the end of the week when Venus comes into an opposition with Saturn, we can take some of these ideas, these plans, these strategies that we've come up with and started to initiate, and maybe hopefully choose some of the best ones because of course oppositions always bring choices sometimes as well, and compromises. And so I think now trying to understand things better, consider your options, figure out what's going on inside you, and finding more of that like peace and calm, especially with the sun opposite the moon opposite Neptune, I think is really going to help you towards the end of the week to figure out what works, what doesn't work, what you need to do, how you need to do it moving forward. All right. Yeah. Just a weird time, you know. It's just weird because it's very different. I really do think June is going to be so different from the beginning of the year, especially with 5 planets going retrograde during the month of June, 2 of which are going to go retrograde this month, with Mars going to be on the South Node. I think this month is going to be very, very different. Not so much about pushing forward to get things done, but about trying to figure out how to do everything that you've done previously in a better way, so that when things pick up later this year, and I think I've been saying this a few times, you'll feel like you're coming at it from a much better place. All right. So that's maybe what I'll leave you with. Wish I had more interesting insights for today. Your card, that is so funny. I got the Queen of Swords again, upright, and I specifically picked this card because I was gonna choose like another card, and then I saw this one sticking out, and I was like, no, I want to put this one on top. So yeah, I think again, it's really all about using your experiences with the Queen of Swords to come to bear on your situation. Yeah, I like the Queen of Swords when she's upright because she's smart and she's wise and she's learned from the things that have happened to her in the past, what she needs to do and how she needs to do things better than she has previously. And she doesn't see any of her experiences as bad things. Not like, oh, well, this happened to me, so it's definitely going to happen again, and why should someone else have a good experience if I had a bad one? No, she's had experiences for better, for worse in her past. She's processed them, put them in their proper place, and she's taken like the little pearls of wisdom from those experiences. And I know I mentioned this yesterday, but I think we're just still doing that today, especially seeing her again, really needing to process the past, to understand the past, and to take all of the good things that have happened in your life the past few years, even if there aren't that many of them, but to find and to take some of those good things and to bring them forward. If there have been some bad things that have happened to you lately, I think this Queen is also a reminder to take the bad things that have happened and to learn from them, so that you now know what to do differently in the future so that you can have a better outcome. Not to be bitter about your past experiences, but to, if they were bad, but to take the bad experiences and to learn from them so that you can make better decisions in the future. And I think this Queen of Swords, she has command of her mind, of what she wants and desires, and knows how to recall certain facts, certain experiences at just the right time when she needs them the most, that can yield the best results. And I think that's what it's saying. You just got to process your experiences, everything that's happened to you lately, and use the good ones to propel you forward, and use the bad ones to help you refine your plans and your actions so that you can make better decisions in the future and not fall into the same traps. All right, so that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.